Hey guys, and welcome back to No More Heroes. Death metal is no more, but there's still plenty more assassins to take down, so we're gonna head over to the baseball stadium to track down Dr. Peace.
Yep, and there's just, whenever you get to the start of a level, you have to drive all the way there, and also just, you get the banner, and I'm sorry, but the grammar is terrible. Tom will probably kill me for saying this, but we had a wonderful little restart because it makes no sense, because it's like ranking battle 9, and you want to say the 9th ranked battle, then it just gets all confused. It's horrible.
Indeed. So how many times do you crash the tiger on the way to the stadium?
Too many.
It's a big fucking bike, dude. It looks terrible to control.
It controls like janky-ass crap is what it controls like.
Indeed.
But I still had fun riding it, and I actually really had a lot of fun driving it to the location for the battles. Especially ones where they take place in the area you drive up to. In later fights, we'll drive to like a random pit, and then, oh hey, now you're teleported to this other place across town, and that's kind of... It's not as effective as driving up to the baseball stadium, walking through the baseball stadium to get to your rank fight. Like that, I really like, and it's one of the pros of the overworld map. Obviously, the con being that if you just really want to get to your fight, then you would prefer No More Heroes 2 system, where you just select the menus like go to fight. It's like, oh, okay.
The thing about No More Heroes 1 versus the second game, and I guess we're going to be doing that a lot since we don't really plan to cover the second game, so we may as well talk about it as much as we can here, is that No More Heroes 1 creates build-up through exploring the overworld. Like, you drive to the location, you go through waves of baddies, and then you fight the boss. The second game just throws you directly to the mow your way through the waves of baddies thing. Both things are effective in their own way, but I can see why people would prefer the second version.
Something I always used to describe No More Heroes is that No More Heroes 1 is a better experience, whereas No More Heroes 2 is probably the better game. Like, the stuff in No More Heroes 2, it gets rid of a lot of the tedium, it gets rid of a lot of excess, and gets straight to, like, the visceralness of No More Heroes. So it's a better game.
Yeah.
But it starts to lose a lot of the qualities that made No More Heroes 1 unique. Like, No More Heroes 1 feels a bit more artsy, you know, if you can include a fucking nerd swinging his dick lightsaber around as artsy, but this game feels more like art. The second one feels more like a game. Like, it was made purely for pleasing people and keeping them engaged. Whereas the first one, there's sort of a method to it. There's a message being said. Something is being expressed even through all of the tedium.
You know what's funny? If I didn't know what games you were talking about, I could have sworn you were talking about the Mario Galaxy games.
That is another thing. It is a huge, huge parallel, whereas one seems to have things that are more tedious or just feel less fun, but it feels more cohesive. Like, everything works together, even the bad parts.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, that's also exactly how I feel about Bayonetta 1 and 2, is that the first one is the much better experience, but the second one is technically the better game. It's odd that it seems to be that there are so many first and second games where that actually ends up being the case.
God damn it, Richie, god damn it.
This game really does give me the feel of being a part-time assassin, crashing into the walls and everything. Although, of course, now I have to ask the obvious question. Seeing here that Travis Touchdown does not have a regular steady job, looks like, I gotta ask where the hell he got this heavy tank motherfucker that he's driving around.
God knows, is the answer.
Suda51 willed it and the bike came into existence.
That's probably how he makes most of his actual games, yeah.
You assume that he's in, like, massive debt. You assume that prior to actually picking up the assassin job, he was working, like, deadbeat, like, he was probably working at Beefhead or something, and he got himself into massive amounts of debt, because he was buying all of those anime figures, all of the anime posters, a fucking bike, a lightsaber. He put himself in debt buying shit he really shouldn't have, and maybe should have been saving it to start a life or something, but, you know, he's a nerd. He doesn't have good fiscal sense.
Ah, Roman numerals.
Always good when you have a Roman numeral appear, and then randomly the actual number. It's like, come on guys, just get a sort of consistency with your numbering values, please.
And then you get some, like, Atari-ass voice saying the name of the assassin you're about to fight. Did they take that out in the second game?
I would assume so, yes, if only because you don't actually drive to the location where the boss fight takes place.
Yeah, that's logical enough for me, mate. Okay, baseball. I guess I'll start with one of the Americans. Helldragon. Is it one of your favourite pastimes?
Look, all I know is that he's getting attacked by a bunch of John Cenas, and I don't know how to feel about that.
You can't see him.
As for baseball, I played a little bit in high school. I got a double, which was pretty great. And that's the majority of my baseball experience right there, buddy.
Thanks for coming out. He's been Helldragon and he's been great. What about you, Maxon?
I like baseball a lot. One of my uncles played Major League. Benito Santiago played for the Marlins and the San Francisco Giants. So anytime he would play against the Rockies here in Colorado, I would get free tickets and stuff. I don't play much myself. My sister plays softball extremely well, and now that she's over in Germany, she's kind of bummed that softball isn't as big in Europe as it is over here.
Yeah, it's more rounders over here, or cricket, I guess.
I do not fucking get cricket at all. I have tried to, maybe, just to, watch it, but I don't get it at all.
It's like that one, I can't believe I have to reference this, that one Family Guy clip where Peter is listening to the radio and is describing a cricket match. That is extremely accurate to how I feel about certain sports.
Same here.
Yeah, get used to the main theme being remixed 50 different ways and being credited as a different song. But you'll be hearing do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do a lot. A fucking lot.
If you can even hear it over the massive, really loud sound effects, I will try and balance as best I can. And I'm trying a lot harder these days to balance it more effectively. But holy shit, this game is loud.
In a good way, though, I think.
Now, something I feel I should point out now is that with the enemies, while they change looks for each level, you pretty much have the same type of enemy. So you have guys with a blunt instrument, you have guys who will fight with their fists, there are ranged attack guys who are the devil.
Yep.
More so in No More Heroes 2, but it's still the case here. And then you have katana enemies, who are the most difficult type of regular enemy that you're going to face. And they are horrible.
Is it like when you have to fight guys wielding knives in the Arkham series?
I would say probably yes.
You've never played the Arkham games, have you?
No.
Okay.
Batman is literally the worst.
Also, we're actually about to, I believe, enter into one of the level gimmicks that we are going to come across. So we're in the baseball stadium. Also, there's me finally realising how to charge up my katana.
Doing it in front of everybody else, by the way.
Oh, you're charging more than that, Richie!
But we get to play baseball to try and kill people.
I was so terrible at this the first time I played.
Agreed.
Well, the thing is that I'm going to do terribly here, but I have since figured out the technique to do this properly, because, when I first played the game, somehow I managed to figure it out, and then I lost it. Basically what you need to do is, instead of actually swinging like a baseball bat, you just got to move your Wiimote from kind of a top position to the bottom in sort of a quick fashion, and that is pretty much how you will get your kills very, very easily.
Does force come into play at any point?
Yes, it does. The harder you kind of swing the Wii Remote, the further the ball will go.
Okay. So you can take out these guys and not have to fight them normally at all if you do it correctly?
Yep. I just failed miserably at doing that here because, as I said, really out of practice with playing No More Heroes, so that kind of special technique just was not there.
Well, if it was a game of Mimbly Wimbly Ball, maybe us Limeys would be able to take down guys and not have to fight them all.
Another PAL censorship. Mimbly Wimbly Ball is what they call it over there.
Well, it was either that or Quidditch.
I think more Americans are playing Quidditch now than Limeys, so just put that out there.
Well, I mean, there was some people playing, I think it was something like the British Quidditch tournament in Woollerton Park, which is in Nottingham, where me and Tom are, which is quite cool.
Please don't, bring Nottinghamites into this. Quidditch is not a real game. Magic's not real.
Breaking news, Tom and Richie live in a city of nerds.
Well, I mean, we do have the National Video Game Arcade, so...
Yo, that sounds dope. That sounds really good. I want that.
It's amazing.
Come on, get up already.
Well, we don't really want him to get up, it's more we want to stab him, unfortunately, sort of because the stabbing is the same as the swinging. It can get a little messy.
Thankfully, they did give Travis an OTG, so if you knock down an enemy, you can still continue beating the shit out of him, because there's nothing more frustrating in a combat game than having enemies essentially be invincible once they're on the ground. It's like, no, they're right there. They're at their weakest possible state. Please allow me to beat the shit out of them while they're on the ground.
This sounds like another game that was on the Wii. Don't want to name names. Twilight Princess.
Oh, so you mean Red Steel?
I thought I told you never to bring that up again. We keep it a secret for a reason.
Oh yeah, now that you bring up Red Steel, kind of, I think No More Heroes kind of fits into the similar area of the mature Wii game that came out, which attempted to kind of prove that there are mature games on the Wii, and failed because...
It was shit.
Well, Red Steel did because it was bad, and then they improved for Red Steel 2, apparently. But, kind of, Mad
Hey,
Wheels...
I'm gonna have to correct you.
Oh, yes?
Richie, I need to correct you. There was one mature Wii game that succeeded fantastically, and its name is Mad World, so you can calm yourself down there.
How did that sell, Mexi?
It doesn't matter how it sold, because it was a fantastic game.
No. Sales are what matters in the end. It doesn't matter if it's a fantastic game. It could be a Beyond Good and Evil, but if it ain't getting those sales, it ain't getting no sequels.
Yes, but the question is, was it getting the advertising, you see? Because Clover Studios, again, I noticed a recurring trend. Capcom sure didn't advertise any of their games very well. God Hand, Okami, even though Okami is fucking amazing, and of course now they port it 400 times, but still, they didn't advertise that, they didn't advertise Mad World, so there you go.
Well, Mad World was Sega.
Yeah, I remember now, it's Sega.
Published by Sega, made by Platinum Games.
But I think they learned their lesson come Bayonetta, because Bayonetta actually got a really good advertising campaign, and I think does potentially remain the best-selling Platinum title of all time.
Yeah, I remember at PAX, they had a shit ton of Bayonetta, console stands. So they were going all out to make sure everyone got to play Bayonetta 2.
And that's because it's one of the best action games ever. Definitely better than No More Heroes, sorry.
Wow.
Well, what choices do you have for combat here? It's like swing the sword high, swing the sword low, or, you stun them and use wrestling moves. It's a very solid system. Not much depth to it, but the game is designed around that sort of lack of depth, so you're never really, at a disadvantage.
You also forget that there's a charge move that Travis has where it can instantly put them in a daze, but it's rarely used again. And he does have light melee attacks, but those are really just to lead into the wrestling moves.
But also, you have the thing of, when you got to Lollipop Chainsaw, Suda51 actually did implement a more typical hack-and-slash style of combat, and yet it just wasn't as fun to play as this, which is the most bizarre thing ever.
Yeah, the thing about Lollipop Chainsaw, though, is that even though it was a bit better than this, where you just have slash high, slash low, Lollipop Chainsaw was literally just light attack, hard attack, and you just went light, hard, or, it was still super, super basic. And then the worst part was, you got this one, spin dash attack with the chainsaw, and that was the only move you ever needed, because it hit multiple enemies, it hit them extremely hard, and you could collect gold coins. So once you got that spin dash attack, who really cared about using pom-poms?
Pretty much.
Man, there are a lot of people out to enjoy this baseball game today. Maybe we should tell them that it's been cancelled.
They're certainly not fans of a baseball team that isn't very popular. I don't know my baseball, so I can't complete this joke for you. I'd like to apologize.
And there you go. There's your strawberry references, guys.
I love how the arrow for the finisher just goes out of control.
Whatever you want, bro. Have fun.
And I think at this point we've actually seen almost all of the dark side attacks, which is really cool. There's one more that we haven't seen, which is, I believe, called Anarchy of the Galaxy, and we're not actually going to see the actual attack, because what it does is, when you get the lucky 7s, a little 7 will appear in the bottom corner of your screen. You can use it then to do basically a screen nuke, which apparently looks really cool.
Yeah.
But the better thing is that if you get to the end of a level with an Anarchy of the Galaxy in stock, you get extra money. So it's a good idea to keep them, considering how rare they are.
It is a pretty cool move. I don't mean to be pedantic, but I think it's Anarchy in the Galaxy.
It probably is. I'm just trying to remember as I go along.
It's fine, mate. So long as you don't forget how to swing your sword, I think we're going to be okay.
I think his funniest, slot thing he can get is the one where everything whites out because it looks like he's double triggering in that DMC, reboot style. And now I just have like a mini gag reflex whenever I see an effect like that.
Oh, and it's a really long corridor. I guess Sylvia's about to call us. Yep, there's the ring.
Yep. And I think this actually does kind of count down, so we'll have 4, 3, 2, 1, potentially. I'm not sure. I saw a 5, so I'm assuming we have a countdown.
Hello, Travis. This is Sylvia. Have you heard of Guardian of Madness? No? Well, how about I tell you again?
Don't know what accent that was, but it wasn't Sylvia's.
It was more like the TF2 medic.
Something that I should probably bring up about Sylvia is that she's voiced by Paula Tissot, who voiced Lulu in Final Fantasy X.
Huh.
That's probably her most famous role, but yeah, it's Lulu.
No fucking way, that's awesome. I'm so giddy.
Now that you mention it, I can hear Lulu.
It's one of those, it's close enough to the accent that she uses for Lulu to be able to recognise it, but it's far enough away to be sort of really unique and mysterious.
Uh-huh.
Also, yes, we will be visiting every bathroom in the entire game.
Oh, thank God.
If you don't drop a deuce, before you fight every boss, you may as well just not go for an 100% run.
And if you die, you'll just, if you go use the bathroom, you won't empty your bowels when you do die, so that's actually an advantage right there.
See? Helpful and efficient.
I do like how the bathrooms are all different, too. I mean, how cheap would that be if all the bathrooms just looked the same throughout Sand and Destroy?
Also, something you've probably been seeing me doing is, when you're in a loading screen, if you kind of tap B multiple times, then you can play with the star and you can bounce it up and down. It's great fun.
Well, it's a fun way to pass the time, I guess.
Spin the star.
So when you got into the clip art,
Love this song.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So let's talk about how good the song is instead of just letting it play. Mexi, what's your opinion, mate?
Alright, so this song is actually one of 2 that Suda51 has actually written for his games. And so that's always super impressive when the creator decides that he just wants to add in his own artistic touch beyond, in all of the medias of the game, so... Richie?
Well, the thing that I'd like to bring up is that, the guy who voices Dr. Peace is called, I think it's Richard McGonigal, or Robert McGonigal, but the guy who sings the song is called Brad Holmes. But the lyrics are so dark. I mean, you can probably tell considering it's called The Virgin Child Makes Her Wish Without Feeling Anything. But it's basically about, a virgin child, her mother gets killed, and then I'm pretty sure that she dies as well, sings a song, and it sings with The Virgin Child Smiles from Hell.
Huh. How is that funny?
Oh, I'm sorry, but that's so good.
It's so dark.
You're a sadistic fuck, Mexi.
I was like, oh, I'm a virgin child, now go to hell. I was like, oh, no.
My entry fee.
Oh, that was awesome.
Also, Travis is realising exactly what's happening with his fee that he has to pay. It actually goes towards setting up these battles and also fulfilling a wish of the assassin themselves.
But don't wait for Travis to get that same treatment. Nope, not even in the sequel.
I'm gonna feel a bit ripped off if he doesn't use that microphone in the battle.
No, he is not squiggly.
Well, he's not going to use it, but it's certainly going to get in the way.
well, that's why you get it medium rare.
You're a junkie for blood, old man.
That's another thing too about No More Heroes is that you're given this information from the get-go that Travis is extremely antisocial. Like, his only means of connection with any of the world is through anime, and what he deems as killing, it's like, well, were you doing killing before the assassination gig? But he sort of just puts out there that he's not like other people. He's only alive when killing others, and so throughout the course of No More Heroes, he's encountering these people that are just as eccentric as him, but also have the same feeling of that life is only at its fullest when murdering another human being. And he starts to question, like, how sane is that? I mean, these guys are fucking weird, but I feel the exact same way as him. The game doesn't go too much into it. It's really more reflected in how Travis starts acting with other assassins. And I think that's another good way of Suda's really good storytelling.
This doesn't really mean anything, but I like the subtle things around the arena, the signs that say stuff like "Go Warriors." It's a little bit of subliminal messaging for you to play the very best that you can.
Oh, definitely. And I have to, you do have to be on your game when battling Dr. Peace, because he shoots with his revolver guns. There are actually a specific type of gun, but I can't remember what it is at the minute.
It's similar to the Colt 1873, which is sometimes called the Peacemaker, so there's the name pun deal.
That's the one. And yes, basically the whole point is you've got to get up close to him, because that gunfire is powerful and will sap your battery power like there's no tomorrow. And so you've just got to sort of dodge around him and kind of slide in whenever you possibly get the chance. Obviously, wrestling moves are an absolute godsend because they take off quite a huge chunk of health. But as I was saying, try to avoid being near the mic stand, because every now and again you can actually clang on to it so it can stop your combo, which is a pain in a half.
Ah, so it does get used in the battle. Okay, I got my wish.
See, now Tom's happy.
Watch out for his super attack, that smarts like a son of a bitch.
Indeed it does.
I suppose, like, all the people we fought on the way here with ranged attacks were just preparing us for this battle.
Pretty much, although I don't think any of the other enemies in the game, well, the bosses, really have ranged attacks. So the fact that you actually get proper gun enemies after this, they don't really relate to the bosses in that respect. But I would say the fact that you do have the baseball throwing guys, it does sort of prepare you for a ranged attacker.
Well, I can think of one that has a beam and one that throws grenades, but yeah, no, like, gun-orientated bosses. But how do we feel about Dr. Peace and Hell Dragon? Let's start with you. Like, just in terms of first impressions, how do you feel Dr. Peace works in the game?
Well, I know he's got a whole baseball arena that he's not taking advantage of. I mean, I think Revolver Ocelot would be a bit more inclined to use a bit of cover around here, you know what I'm saying? But I think I'm just going to stand still and shoot him in the face and hope that pays off. Never mind the katana or anything like that. But beyond that, I do like the design. I like the gold guns, and I like, the facial hair. I think he looks pretty cool, I gotta say.
He reminds me of, like, a cross between Revolver Ocelot from the Metal Gear series and also Colonel Sanders, I guess, if I had to pick a name out at random.
He's actually based off Charles Bronson, but
yes,
yeah.
I see that, yeah.
I do really see the Revolver Ocelot, though. And the gold gun itself is also a reference to Suda's previous game, Killer 7, where, I'm not going to spoil it, but a character named Emir uses a modified golden revolver just like Dr. Peace.
Mm-hmm.
There really would be no other place for such, like, an ego-driven character who uses guns instead of a sword than the mound at the center of the arena.
I mean, he also loves karaoke, too, so, have an entire stadium looking upon him.
Nice. Oh, dropping the mic.
There you go.
Now, at this point, I'm pretty sure in the American version he is splitting up blood and spurting blood. You can actually see the blood on his jacket there. So
Yes,
some
you
of the
can.
blood got centered, some of it didn't.
This is some 4-kid shit right here.
It gets worse later on, it's ridiculous.
So you guys can literally have titties on your regular magazines, but oh, the blood, not the blood.
Well, it's a double standard that exists even to this day, but that is the end of Dr. Peace. If this was any other action game, Not a very flattering pose there. If this was any other action game, we would take the guns and use them, but alas, Travis is married to his katana.
And I have to say, thank God he is, because it is definitely the best weapon in the game.
It would have been kind of cool if you had some interaction with the dead bodies, but Travis isn't that kind. He's only interested in the assassins while they're still alive and able to be killed.
He probably just sees a prop once there's no more spark of life in them.
Yeah, I mean, he's very... It's sociopathic behavior. I mean, if you wanted to get super clinical on a video game character.
What'd you expect?
Although, I mean, you guys say that, but there is one boss character which is going to be a little more involved after they die.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about, and I think I referenced them earlier with the grenades.
It's all about that growth that you see in Travis's actions instead of just saying, I have learned to appreciate this. It's like, no, allow me to demonstrate my growth through my actions.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very satisfying screen, and we're now the rank 9 assassin, I believe. Oh god, there's that grammar again.
For our initials, ASS.
This just makes me want to play some Galga.
Ha, video games. Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. We'll see you next time for more No More Heroes. Bye for now.